Hey everyone, this is Connor from Haus here, and I'm excited to go live today because we have an exciting update. Looks like patch 1.2.1 has just dropped. The developers have just released a little video about it, and so I was going to go ahead and record a video today, just kind of going through the developer video, the update, and then also be able to click over here and go through the actual kind of written blog from the devs itself. But I figured just to start off, we'd kind of watch through this. I'll pause to kind of interject some thoughts, but until then, let's just kind of get into it here, yeah?
Hey Civ fans, Carl Harrison here, game designer at Firaxis. Let's start with something you've all been waiting for, a brand new map type you can now play on Pangea Plus.
Ooh.
Pangea maps have always had a special place in the hearts of players who love a good all-out brawl. Pangea Plus brings this gameplay to Civ 7, with all civs starting on a shared central homeland.
I want to look at those maps again. Well, this is exciting. I think map types have been something that I would say is one of the biggest pain points in terms of like replayability in the game right now. I mean, that's something that I've been looking for, is just ways to feel like I'm getting a new experience each time. And map type and size are certainly iterations that I prefer the large maps, but this looks crazy. I mean, look, how small this viewfinder is for the entire map makes it look huge, versus like how large this one is on the map. So this could be like even bigger map type too, but I like the idea here. Interesting little start here.
Central homeland, surrounded by a scattering of islands. These islands will have treasure resources that you'll want to grab during the exploration age.
Yeah, that honestly feels just like a better version of the exploration age treasure fleets. Is just when they're kind of smaller islands, you know, a little bit less prominent part of the game, just feels like more of an iteration that I would kind of fall in line with. But yeah,
These contested distant lands islands make naval gameplay especially viable, but be warned, you'll need to invest in a strong army if you find yourself on this map type surrounded by leaders like Xerxes, Amina, and Harriet Tubman. Human players will now be able to spawn on both hemispheres in a multiplayer game in any age.
interesting. This is not something that I knew was particularly a problem. I mean, I don't play a lot of large multiplayer, so interesting change though. But I'm really excited about that map though. The Pangea map I think is a huge. I think they're leading with that because it is just such a big part of this update. But let's keep listening.
We know players have felt limited by the human player limit, so we've increased the max human count on all maps for antiquity and exploration to be the same as the overall max player count. So if the max for a map is 8, you can have up to 8 human players in your game. If all the human players in a game can fit on the same hemisphere, they'll still be grouped together. But once there's too many human players to fit in a single hemisphere, they'll now be split up evenly between both. Your homelands will be the distant lands for players on the other hemisphere, and vice versa. By popular demand, raising penalties.
That's cool. Yeah, it's one, like I said, I don't play a lot of multiplayer, but I do feel like that is a good change to be able to have these 8-player multiplayer games now. That sounds awesome. So I may just have to do that. Maybe even with some Civ House members or something. Membership live, by the way. But yeah, let's keep looking.
Have been reduced.
Raising
We've
penalties.
removed the +1 free war support opponents would gain each time you raised a settlement. Instead, raising a settlement doubles the normal conquest influence penalty. There's still a...
Let's pause on this. So yeah, instead of a war support for the rest of the age, now some influence penalties. Yeah, this makes sense. Honestly, I never raise settlements. I rarely do, at least. So interesting though. Is the keep settlement option still the same? Oh, it's not. So even keeping it is different now. I mean, it's going to be an influence hit either way. That's interesting. Is that across the board? Really? I don't know how I feel about just getting penalized for taking settlements. Huh, I guess just during the age, so.
consequence for tearing down a settlement, but we hope that this one feels more forgiving. We may have nerfed raising penalties, but 121 brings a whole lot of buffs to leaders and civs, including...
That felt like we were about to get 5 big booms or something. Like that was the buffs, buffs. Anyway, I'm not gonna do all 5. That's cool. Okay, anyway, we get some buffs. Pachacuti. Cities gain a bonus to production equal to 10% of that city's food. Okay. New ability straight up, and we're getting production for Pachacuti. Interesting. So this is kind of a new way to have food scale production, at least to some degree. It's kind of cool. Interesting. I think that makes him immediately pretty viable.
Pachacuti. Friedrich.
Friedrich Oblique. Gain military unit when you complete a tech mastery or construct a science building. I think it used to be just... Wait. Oh, wow. I thought it was just when you got a tech master. I need to have the other one pulled up. I wonder if we look at the... Not to interrupt the video. If we look at this, will it show what the old ability was, I wonder? I don't remember what it used to be. I don't think it's that important for us to break that the old part, piece down, but still, I forget. I don't know if he used to just be tech building or just tech mastery. I thought it was mastery, but anyway.
Oblique and Baroque.
So now it's, I'm guessing, same thing. Oh no, it's not. Okay, so now it's when you complete a civic mastery or construct a culture building and +1 culture per age on displayed great work. So he gets a big buff. Interesting. I guess less civic, less culture buildings available maybe is the reason for that. Not exactly sure. Okay, the Friedrich's still getting better.
Jose Rizal.
Oh, Jay Rizzi. When gaining rewards from a narrative event, you gain an additional 20 culture, 20 gold, and 20 influence per age. Okay, so we're getting Jay Rizzi some influence. Probably makes him better. I mean, at least makes narrative events really good for him. I still just don't know if like his kit inherently is ever going to be good, especially when it's just 20 each. Like in the modern age, this is, I guess, per age. So 60 in the modern age. I don't know.
Hatchetset.
Hatshepsut. God, I'm realizing, listening to him pronounce all these, how poorly I pronounce them all. +1 culture per age for each unique resource you have. Okay. I'm trying to think of what her old one was. Sorry, I keep toggling back and forth here. Added 1 culture per age for each unique resource you have instead of 1 culture for every imported resource. Oh, that's so much better. So much better. Wow. Yeah, that feels just amazingly better. That makes her a lot like Amina. Huh. Okay. Really good for
Himiko High Shaman.
Alright, Himiko High Shaman. I think this is a super interesting patch, by the way, now that I'm getting into this. This is way more balancing than I thought was going to be coming, but this is great. I mean, good on them for starting to kind of tune some of these leaders. I really like what we're seeing so far. These are all leaders that I think needed buffs. I never play any of these. I mean, I never even think to a lot of times. So Himiko High Shaman updated the ability +2 happiness per age on happiness and influence buildings, so slight upgrade. Plus 50% production towards constructing happiness and influence building. Okay, so at least it feels like influence is an early priority to kind of make more relevant and more a larger part of the game.
Great Britain.
Great Britain, Antiquarian gives 20 culture per tile from your capital when you use the excavate artifact. Okay. Updated unique quarter. Financial center gives +2 gold and science per connected settlement. I don't remember what that used to be. Gotta look. Oh, the blinding light. Ugh. So it used to just give gold. Now it gives +2 gold and +2 science. So some of these are more minor now that I'm seeing the originals. I mean, the Hatshepsut one is crazy, but still.
Kumai.
The beret gives immunity to flood damage to settlements it is built in. Whoa! That's kind of cool. Little gimmicky, but kind of cool. Forgetting floods a lot.
Majapahit.
I think this is one of the worst civs in my mind. So each build Pura gives a discount on converting towns into cities. Oh, that feels really good. Huh. Per unique quarter now gives an empire-wide discount. Yeah. Wow, that feels extremely good if you can stack those and just have really cheap conversions.
Normans.
Interesting. I think that actually makes Majapahit way, way better potentially. I'd have to look at the actual scaling, but that could be crazy good. All right, Norman's getting a little buff. The Donjon gives a 10% production bonus to cavalry and settlements you build it in. Production bonus to cavalry. Oh, just towards cavalry, I guess. Okay. That doesn't move the needle hardly at all for me, I'm not going to lie. Normans still feel bad.
Inca.
I hope the Inca's good. Please. I just want to do mountain gameplay. Yeesh. Alright, the terrace farm gives food and has a gold adjacency with buildings. Now can be placed on any rough terrain without features or rivers. Okay. Yeah? Is that it? Oh, I feel like we could have done more with the Inca.
Russia.
Russia, I also don't feel like is very good. +2 culture and science on districts, doubled in tundra, so I feel like that is a little different. And this building provides +2 culture and tundra and +2 food to all farms in this settlement. I'm guessing it was just tundra farms or something. So, help modern settlements. Okay, maybe it was just rural space. Wanted to double down on rewarding players for protecting tundra tiles when settling, sure. I don't know, folks. I just don't know if that one does it. Also, man, that screen is bright. Just destroying my face whenever I watch that. Anyway, let's check it out. Let's check out the rest.
And Songhai.
Alright, Songhai, last one. Updated unique civic. The Kanta civic creates treasure fleets in the homelands worth 2 points. Okay, that's kind of cool. The Tajiro merchant unit is cheaper to build, and okay, so that's a pretty. This is the most significant upgrade I think for the Songhai. So that's kind of a cool one. Good for them.
While UI improvements are high on our radar, this update is a bit lighter in terms of those changes.
Okay, before we get to the rest of it, thoughts on overall balancing there? I feel like they nailed it with the leaders. I mean, some of the civs I'm just going to have to get into the lab and see how they play out, but especially when I think of like the Normans change, Russia's change, I don't know that there's a huge needle movement there for me. Not that they needed sweeping buffs all over the place, but I really like what they did with like the Majapahit, several of the leaders, so I'll at least be interested to play some of these now. I mean, and that's the beauty of these updates is this game is already, I think, has a pretty good baseline. It just needs to find ways to bring players back in who, get into the cycle of playing for a little bit for a few weeks to a month, no update, falling away from it, repetitive, and then bringing in changes like this to make it a little bit more exciting. So, balancing wise, I think it's good.
We're setting the stage for some bigger improvements coming soon, a couple of which you'll see later this June, and plenty more planned down the road. And last but not least, for all our harder difficulty players, we made some tweaks to beef up the AI, including improvements to commander pathing, offering peace treaties, city defense, and warfare. We can't thank you enough for the feedback and...
Yep, then kind of a thanks to close, but yeah, it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see how those UI changes play out realistically. Or not UI changes, the AI changes, sorry. I don't know, I feel like Deity is not in that bad of a place right now. I mean, I know that there are people, I'm sure, watching this who just crush Deity. I'm not necessarily one of those people. I have like a moderately difficult time on that difficulty. I can do it, but it's not the best sometimes. But a nice little teaser for some big updates coming in June. I think, when I quickly looked at this earlier, I think I saw, the screen is so bright. Why? Oh well, you should have to look at my washed out face. Yeah, let's look. So these are just all the changes. Yep. Let's start at the top, I guess. We'll take it from the top. All right. Update 1.2.1, May 25th. Cool. Let's see. Switch players. Oh. Okay, so this is one thing I want to look at least somewhat here. Looking ahead, we'll also be sharing an update check-in soon that'll give you a look into what's coming next. Until then, here are some things the team is working hard on to include in the June update subject to change. Okay, so this is supposed to be a pretty big one, I think. Large and huge map support, please. I cannot tell you how badly I want this in the game. This is probably my #1 ask. All I want to do is play on a huge map where I have space to do what I want to do, build a crazy big empire. Like wild scaling is something that I really enjoy as a Civ player, and I cannot believe we haven't got it until now, to be frank. But really excited to see it on here nonetheless. Steam Workshop support is also going to be massive for mods, from what I understand. I'm not a huge mod player, and in my whole Civ tenure, I really haven't been. But in talking to Rob and working on the channel, he seems to think that this is a huge deal, and I tend to agree with him the more that I've heard about it. So very excited for that. Okay, improved game setup options, so probably just more customization when you're going to set up a game, maybe? Like, maybe even, I don't know what that would be. Interesting. Well, it'll be cool to see what that is, nonetheless. New religious beliefs and balance. That's good, because I feel like religion is weird right now. It just feels like it appears in a part in the game, and then it just leaves. And there's really not much else to it. It's very hard to see what it's doing. Like, if you have a really effective religion, it's hard to, like, get a metric for how effective it actually is in terms of stats and yields and whatnot. So a little interesting. New city-state bonuses and balance. So maybe even like new types or like subtypes of city-states. That could be cool. I would love to see like a science/culture city-state. That's like a little bit of a blended culture where you get a little bit of both. Maybe that kind of thing comes. New town specializations and balance. As someone who really doesn't use town specializations, maybe this will make me want to use them. So that could be cool. Specialist balance. Wonder what they're balancing there. It's interesting. Huh. Treasure fleet improvements, please. Please. Again, this, treasure fleets and religion, I think, are two of my biggest pain points, and they both kind of reach their apex in the exploration age. They really both are primarily featured in the exploration age. And so, really like seeing that we're going to get some changes there. We have some UI and quality of life improvements. Always good. Okay, plans can shift. Sure. We want to have backwards compatibility for existing saves. Some of them might not, though. Okay, that's understandable. Video, Spotlight, map types, Pangea. We already looked at this. Recent updates to abilities that affect combat strength, the introduction of the new food curve with 1.2.0, and growing insights into how the influence yield is being used across different strategies. We have a better understanding of where certain leaders and civs stand in the current meta. Update 1.2.1 introduces some adjustments to a number of underutilized and underperforming options, I agree, with the hope of helping abilities stay relevant throughout the game and making each option feel distinct, competitive, and rewarding from start to finish. We included some extra dev notes, section why the changes were made. We'll keep refining. Great. I agree with them, though. I think that they did target pretty effectively the civs and leaders that needed it. So yeah, we got Oblique, Baruch, Chipset, Himiko, Jose Rizal, Pachacuti, Xerxes, the Jacobiened. I didn't see his in the video. This was not in the video. There's no way. Unless I just missed it. But added +10 trade range. Okay, cool. I was actually wanting to start like an all-trade, like economy challenge kind of video with him, so I might do that even with that better trade range. Bulgaria was also not. I mean, not all these were on the video, by the way. So I'm glad we're looking at this. Bulgaria some updates. The commander now allows for units to pillage for 1 movement instead of no movement. Okay. So that sounds like a nerf. Huh. Maybe. Actually, never mind. I don't think it necessarily is. When age transitioning, you'll now inherit the false fruit tradition that grants food. Okay. Great Britain, we saw all these. Yep. So here's some AI changes addressed a reported issue where the AI was not using the Great Banker to achieve modern economic victory. AI more thoughtful in placing unique quarters, suffers less damage than the player on deep ocean tiles when playing a high level game. That's brutal, but fair, I guess, if it's going to be hard. Addressed a reported issue that AI was ignoring enemy units outside of a settlement when at war and launching an attack on an enemy settlement. AI commander pathing. AI now only offers peace to human players on a team. Interesting. All right, influence cost of a levy unit action now equals its production cost. Interesting. Okay, so you're okay. This is a big effort to. This is more of that influence stuff we've looked at, where they're definitely trying to make influence more of a versatile tool, like a kind of a Swiss Army knife resource. I think that's a good way to do it. Just kind of making its cost more one-to-one with other things you would spend. All right. Open borders are now lost after an alliance accepted, rejected, or lost. Sure. Okay. Players' influence. Spent influence now properly applied to an AI allies war sport. Okay, I think this is fair. All right. Environment. Let's see how much more we got here. This is all UI. Wow. They did do a lot of UI stuff. Honestly. Let's look here. Diplomacy, multiplayer relationships no longer reset. Yep. Nothing crazy in this diplomacy section. Environment. Addressing some issues. Volcanoes now spawn in tundras are less likely to spawn adjacent to each other. We get volcanoes and tundras now. It's pretty sick, though. Spacing is now fixed so that there are 2 tiles of ocean on both north and south poles. Okay. The missionary unit now properly gains production when trained in a city with the incense resource. Fishing boats on a reef. Yep. So these are just some more fixes than anything else. Some changes to independent powers. Okay, yeah, I did used to see this one where they displayed negative influence costs. All right, just some more fixes. I'm trying not to go through all of these if they're a little redundant. Also, you know, are our dots just not going to be just highlight, hit tab, please, on the back end? Why all same dot? Civ 7 UI moment. Just kidding. It's a formatting thing. No big deal. Okay, tutorial, purchase menu. Will now display things that are unlocked but too expensive. That's cool. So you can see what you need to get to. Now migrants give you a tutorial. Yep. Military, a lot of changes to particular units. Okay. Oh, interesting. Army commander units no longer gain double XP when using their abilities to attack. I feel like that was a good incentivizer to use those abilities, but maybe not. Let's see what else we got. Secondary unit strength. Effects from all resources have been removed. Okay. I don't know that there's a lot here that I'm going crazy about. I'm trying to look. Squadron commander units now respawn on aerodrome, yeah. So there's a lot here that I'm sure is kind of like a background change, but I don't know if there's anything too significant we'll feel here. All right, let's look. And this is all UI. So I probably won't go through this, but just know there are some UI updates, and there are a lot of them that should, if you're looking at the game and you're like, huh, that looks a little different, that's why. A lot of UI changes, a lot of audio changes, some narrative changes, clarified rewards for some narrative events, and some changes to narrative events. So these are like little quests and things to, not just narrative events. All right, so that is update 1.2.1. I'll include the link to this article, which obviously has the video in it, in the description below. But all in all, my thoughts on this, I like this. I think this is a good update from the dev team. I think balancing is important. I think kind of giving us a carrot at the end of the stick for June is good. That's a quick enough turnaround that I can live with for some larger changes. The Pangea map is nice, but I think the June update is really the thing that they're kind of trying to use this to get ready for. So I will be very excited for that, just like I'm sure you all will be. But I'll quit yapping for now because I want to go log on to Civ and try out some of these changes. So from our house to yours, thanks for tuning in. We hope you'll join us for one more turn. We'll see you next time.